Welcome to WaniTube, where Bible stories are more than history. They are living messages of faith, courage, and redemption. Tonight's story is one of the most intense moments ever recorded in Scripture. A faithful man, a corrupt plot, a sealed stone, and a night surrounded by lions. But this story reminds us that when the world turns against you, God can still shut the mouths of your greatest fears. This is the story of Daniel in the lion's den. Let's begin. Daniel was not an ordinary man. He lived in a foreign land, Babylon, a place filled with powerful kings, golden palaces, and idols carved from stone. Daniel had been taken from his home as a young man, captured when Jerusalem fell, and brought into exile. But even in a land far from everything familiar, Daniel remained faithful. He served with wisdom. He spoke with humility. And most importantly, he walked with God. Years passed. Kings rose and fell. Empires shifted. But Daniel remained. And eventually, a new ruler came to power, King Darius. Darius looked across his kingdom, searching for leaders he could trust, men of integrity, men of skill, men of wisdom. And when he saw Daniel, he was impressed. Daniel was different, so different that the king planned to place him above everyone else. Above governors, above princes, above officials, Daniel was about to become second in command. But that is when the danger began. Because when God lifts someone up, the jealous begin to whisper. The other officials watched Daniel closely. They waited for a mistake, a flaw, a scandal, something they could use. But they found nothing. Daniel was honest, faithful, unshakable, and that frustrated them. So they said to each other, "We will never find a reason to accuse Daniel, unless it has something to do with his God." And in that moment, a wicked plan was born. They approached King Darius with flattering words. "O king, live forever." They bowed low. They smiled. And then they proposed a law. For the next 30 days, no one may pray to any god or man, except to you, O king. And whoever disobeys shall be thrown into the den of lions. It sounded like honor. It sounded like loyalty. But it was a trap. The king, blinded by pride, signed the decree. And once the law of Persia was written, it could not be changed. Now the trap was set. And the question was simple. Would Daniel stay silent or remain faithful? Daniel heard about the law. He understood the danger. He knew what it meant. But then, Daniel did something unforgettable. He went home. He opened his windows, facing Jerusalem. And just as he had always done, he knelt down and prayed. Not quietly, not secretly, but faithfully, 3 times a day. Because Daniel did not fear lions as much as he feared losing his connection with God. The officials were watching. They rushed in. They caught him praying. And immediately, they ran to the king. "O king, did you not sign a decree?" The king nodded. "Yes." They leaned closer. "Daniel, that exile from Judah, he is praying to his God." The king's face changed. His heart sank. Because Darius respected Daniel. He didn't want to harm him. All day long, the king tried to find a way out. But the law could not be undone. And as the sun began to set, the moment arrived. Daniel was brought forward. The den of lions awaited. A place of death. A pit where criminals were torn apart. The king looked at Daniel, and with sadness in his voice, he said, "May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you." Daniel did not scream. He did not beg. He simply trusted. They lowered him into the den. The stone was rolled over the entrance. And the king sealed it. The night came. Darkness fell. Inside the pit, lions moved. Breathing. Watching. Waiting. And above, King Darius could not sleep. He refused food. He refused music. His palace felt empty, because he knew a faithful man was facing death simply for praying. Hours passed, and finally, at the first light of dawn, the king rushed to the den. His voice trembled. "Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God been able to deliver you from the lions?" Silence. Then, a voice rose from the darkness. "O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him." Daniel was alive. Not scratched. Not broken. Not touched. Because heaven had entered the den. The king rejoiced. He ordered Daniel to be lifted out. And then, justice came swiftly. The men who had accused Daniel were thrown into the den instead. And the lions did not wait. The kingdom learned a terrifying truth. God is not mocked. Then King Darius wrote a decree to all nations. The God of Daniel is the living God. His kingdom will never be destroyed. He rescues and delivers. He performs signs and wonders. Daniel's faith had become a testimony to the world. And here is the lesson for us today. Sometimes obedience will cost you. Sometimes doing what is right will put you in the den. But the same God who shut the lion's mouth still reigns today. Your lions may be fear, anxiety, enemies, impossible situations. But faith reminds us the den is not the end. God is still present, even in the darkest pit. And so, this story reminds us that God is never absent, even when we feel surrounded. Daniel did not escape the den, but he discovered that God was with him inside it. If you are facing lions in your life today, hold on. Pray. Stay faithful, because the God of Daniel still delivers. Thank you for watching WaniTube. If this story spoke to your heart, like, subscribe, and share, because more powerful journeys through Scripture are coming. Until next time, stay faithful, stay hopeful. This is WaniTube, and the Word still speaks.